Think how ironic that Whoopi Goldberg and Joy Behar and the rest of the ladies on The View spend their time calling Republicans the conspiracy theorists, but they have been wrong about everything they have said over the last couple of years.
The room is wrapped in complete silence as the camera slowly pulls back. There are no laughs, no applause, not even the faint shuffle of cue cards. All that remains is Whoopi Goldberg gripping the edge of the table as though it is the only thing holding her steady. Her eyes flick nervously across the room while her trembling lips reveal the strain she's trying to hide. This time, the weight isn't coming from a teleprompter or a television.
I respect everything everyone is saying to me, and I don't want to fake apologize. I'm very upset about that people are misunderstood what I was.
She was no longer sitting comfortably on The View, trading sharp remarks and clever comebacks. This time, all eyes in Hollywood were fixed on Whoopi Goldberg as she faced a legal showdown. The controversy had moved far beyond daytime television when Karoline Leavitt, the young conservative known for speaking her mind and challenging the status quo, chose to bring the conflict into a courtroom instead of letting it remain a heated on-air exchange. That single decision instantly captured nationwide attention. What had started as another tense disagreement on a daytime talk show quickly grew into a major legal dispute. The familiar sounds of applause and audience laughter were replaced by stacks of legal documents, witness statements, and moments filled with uneasy silence. The confidence that usually defined the studio seemed to disappear. Under the bright lights of the courtroom, Whoopi appeared more anxious than ever, carrying a level of pressure that was impossible to ignore. If the claims proved true, this was no ordinary celebrity disagreement. It was becoming one of the most closely followed legal battles in recent memory. Like many unforgettable moments on The View, the story began with a guest who held firm opinions, a panel of outspoken hosts, and a discussion that gradually became more intense. This time, however, the guest was Karoline Leavitt, and it didn't take long before the pointed criticism started flying.
Good for anyone, and it's not good for poor folks. It is not good for y'all because you become slave fodder. It's not a good thing. It's not good for women because you are now being told and dictated to, and you can't say anything because they, throw you in a jail or whatever. People got very, very, very angry and still are angry. I mean, I'm getting, all of the mail from folks and the very real anger because people feel very differently.
The chain of events began when Joy Behar made a sarcastic remark about Karoline Leavitt's political career, suggesting that her appearance had played a bigger role in her success than her abilities. Moments later, Whoopi Goldberg joined the discussion, once again questioning the value of Leavitt's accomplishments. Sunny Hostin then added her own perspective, challenging Leavitt's qualifications and offering her own explanation for how she had advanced in politics. The audience responded with applause, laughter, and approving smiles. Karoline Leavitt, however, reacted very differently. She didn't raise her voice, interrupt the discussion, or walk off the stage. Instead, she stayed composed, listened carefully, and allowed the conversation to continue without confrontation. Just a few days later, the situation took an unexpected turn. What had seemed like another heated exchange on daytime television suddenly became far more serious when legal filings attracted widespread public attention. The accusations included defamation, damage to reputation, and claims of intentional malice. In an instant, the spotlight shifted away from the television studio and toward the courtroom. What had started as a political disagreement was now being presented as a legal battle with much higher stakes. This time, the hosts were no longer in control of the conversation, and there was no commercial break that could make the issue disappear. While many public figures respond to controversy through social media posts or online arguments, Karoline Leavitt reportedly chose a very different path. She remained quiet and focused. Rather than trading insults, she was said to have gathered recordings, video clips, and public statements from the broadcast. Every remark, every sarcastic exchange, and every moment she believed mattered became another piece of the case she was building.
If you don't have anything to say, you blab. You just go on and 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 on.
Then came the moment that changed the entire story. Karoline Leavitt reportedly filed a lawsuit that quickly drew attention across the country. The amount mentioned in the filing was an eye-catching $800 million, a figure that immediately dominated headlines and sparked widespread discussion. The legal action did not focus on just one person. Instead, it named the American Broadcasting Company along with Whoopi Goldberg, Joy Behar. and Sunny Hostin. According to the lawsuit, the claims included defamation, damage to Leavitt's reputation, and what was described as a deliberate effort to undermine her because of her political views. Her legal team argued that the case went beyond a simple political disagreement. They maintained that it was about accountability and protecting individuals from being publicly discredited because of their beliefs. As a result, what had started as a heated exchange on television was now being presented as a much larger legal and cultural conflict, attracting attention far beyond the studio.
They likened President Trump to Hitler. They have mocked him, they have shamed him, they have lied about him consistently on their show. And it was a joy to watch them on November the 6th when they realized that tens of millions of Americans do not listen to the lies that they have spewed. These women are completely out of touch with reality. And you're right, ABC should wake up. They just paid $15 million to President Trump's future library. That's a great thing for the American people.
Now the story shifted to this week's courtroom proceedings. The packed courtroom carried an unmistakable sense of tension. Although cameras were not allowed inside, reports from those in attendance quickly spread beyond the courthouse. Whoopi Goldberg reportedly arrived wearing large sunglasses, her face serious and difficult to read. As the hearings continued, observers claimed the pressure on everyone involved became increasingly noticeable. According to people present in the courtroom, the atmosphere changed as Karoline Leavitt's legal team began presenting its arguments. Several video clips from previous broadcasts were played, highlighting comments and exchanges involving Leavitt. With each recording, the room reportedly grew even quieter. The legal team then introduced additional materials they believed supported their case, including emails, internal memos, and communications with producers. Some of those documents were said to suggest that Karoline Leavitt's appearances could attract larger audiences and improve television ratings. If those claims are accurate, they added another dramatic layer to an already high-profile legal dispute.
Goldberg, who raised a few eyebrows using the Bible to support the idea of kids getting gender change surgeries. Take a look.
This is a party that says we believe in parents' rights. You're telling me that as a parent, I'm not smart enough to decide if my child and I need to have gender affirming. Our doctors are not involved. What is going? So I can't decide what my kid reads. I can't decide for my child what my child says is going on. You're telling me your beliefs, and they keep saying it, and I keep saying, what Bible are you reading? Because God was really clear. Very clear.
According to reports, Whoopi Goldberg leaned toward her attorney before briefly covering her face with her hands. Some courtroom observers claimed she appeared to wipe away tears during a short pause in the proceedings. It was a side of Whoopi that the public rarely gets to see. Although the case was still in its early stages, many felt the atmosphere inside the courtroom had already shifted dramatically. Across the room, Karoline Leavitt reportedly remained calm and composed. She showed little emotion, sitting with her hands folded while carefully following every stage of the proceedings. Her legal team then introduced what they described as an extensive collection of evidence, including transcripts, production notes, television clips, and additional documents they argued revealed a continuing pattern of unfair treatment. The most closely watched moment came when the attorneys presented what they described as an internal document concerning how Karoline Leavitt was expected to be portrayed on television. The document immediately captured the courtroom's attention. As the hearing continued, several people in attendance said the room became strikingly quiet, while some legal observers appeared visibly stunned by what was being presented.
Voters do not agree with these despicable women on The View. They are wildly out of touch with the vast majority of Americans, and frankly, they should seek immediate.
According to the allegations, the issue was being presented as far more than a series of ordinary on-air remarks. Instead, it was described as a deliberate campaign, and that distinction quickly became one of the courtroom's central arguments. Much of the discussion focused on whether the statements reflected intentional conduct rather than simply personal opinion. When asked about the reported internal documents, Whoopi Goldberg reportedly said she was not involved in every production decision and was unaware of how certain parts of the program had been organized. Karoline Leavitt's attorney quickly challenged that position, arguing that public figures remain responsible for statements made on a nationally televised broadcast, regardless of behind-the-scenes production decisions. According to people present, the courtroom grew noticeably quieter as the exchange continued, and several witnesses claimed Whoopi spoke very little for the remainder of the proceedings. Reports also suggested that executives at the American Broadcasting Company met with legal advisors outside the courtroom to assess the possible impact on the network. Attention soon turned to questions about the show's future, its public image, and the potential consequences for viewers and advertisers. Although the network had not formally responded to many of the allegations, the legal dispute had already become one of the most widely discussed stories surrounding the broadcast. For now, the final outcome remains uncertain. As the reported legal dispute continues to attract widespread attention, speculation about ABC's next move has only intensified. Although Whoopi Goldberg has long been viewed as one of daytime television's most influential personalities, reports suggest the network is carefully weighing its options while the allegations remain under scrutiny. The case, which reportedly centers on claims of defamation, reputational harm, and intentional misconduct, has already sparked intense public debate. Earlier courtroom reports described Karoline Leavitt as calm, focused, and prepared, while observers claim the proceedings became noticeably quieter as video clips, transcripts, production notes, emails, and other documents were introduced as evidence. According to Leavitt's legal team, those materials point to what they describe as a broader pattern rather than isolated comments. Legal analysts say that, if the allegations are ultimately proven, the dispute could become an important discussion about media responsibility and the treatment of political guests on nationally televised programs. Online reactions remain deeply divided. Some viewers believe public figures should expect tough questioning, while others argue that no guest should be unfairly targeted because of political beliefs. If the court eventually rules in Leavitt's favor, broadcasters across the industry could face renewed questions about editorial standards, guest treatment, and where the line between political commentary and personal attacks should be drawn.